Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Air, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, Chris Messina, Chris Tucker, and Viola Davis, directed by Ben Affleck. Welcome back to the Ben Affleck's directed movies, but it's not written by him and Matt Damon, I'll say, but it's more like directed by Ben Affleck. So after The Town, Argo, and Live by Night, I'm here to return to this one, and we'll see how this goes. I went twice, and let's. Is it as inspirational? Well, the first time I saw it, I went to an early access screening, and people were into it and laughing at the humor, and I thought it was good too. So let's get into the movie. The year is 1984 when we meet Sonny Vaccaro, played by Matt Damon, who works for Nike, aka the shoe company, and cheering for high school basketball teams and making a big name for his company while he gambles in Las Vegas. And he gets back home in Beaverton, and his company, Nike, is the lowest popularity in sports shoe history, which is sad while Sonny visits Howard White, played by Chris Tucker, and he's hilarious in this movie. And this movie is funny at times, and it's quite a good time at the movies. Sonny goes to a meeting with Rob Strasser, played by Jason Bateman, which isn't like him, I'll say, about their future not looking too great, while Sonny goes off at someone about what he likes about a player's game, and the dialogue is smart and pretty funny at times, while they can't get Michael Jordan because he's too expensive and doesn't want to put on their shoes, while Sonny visits his boss Phil Knight, played by the movie's director and star Ben Affleck. And I do really like and care for the characters, as this movie is very well made, and it feels like the 1980s, like the way Argo director Ben Affleck does a great job at making it look like the past, while Phil asks Sonny, does he run, which will lead to one of the goals of Sonny by the end of the movie. And I like the soundtrack as well as some because it's very nostalgic and old school, and I'm a fan of old school, I'll say. Sonny watches a basketball game on tape from 1982 where he witnesses Michael Jordan making a smooth shot on the TV during the championship as he sees something nobody else can see, and he shoots the basket right away, and he's relaxed, and he's filled with greatness as he wants to only sign Michael Jordan instead of three different players, as he makes a shoe for Michael Jordan and wants the whole budget, while Michael Jordan wants Adidas, and that feels great for the story to believe in Michael Jordan and put a shoe around him. Sonny calls David Falk, played by Chris Messina, and tells him he wants a meeting with Michael Jordan, and he says he doesn't want to be at Nike, and the conversation is a hell of a lot of fun, like the entire movie is a lot of fun. Phil says absolutely not, while Sonny wants to bet on his career. If Michael Jordan says no, he could be fired, and talks to David once again and decides to go on to his parents after David hanging up on Sonny, and goes to Los Angeles to visit George Raveling, played briefly by Marlon Wayans, and this is one of his better performances, and that is not ruinous. While Sonny wants to talk with the parents behind David's back, and he gets back home and visits Howard and tells him he's going to reach out to the parents, and the next day he goes to North Carolina and Rob is pissed off, I'll say, which was pretty damn amusing. Sonny gets to the Jordan residence and meets James and Dolores, played by Viola Davis, and the husband, I don't know who the actor is, but anyways, and talks briefly with Dolores, because he doesn't like to take no for an answer. And I always enjoy Viola Davis in the movies, as she's always great. And I like that he can't meet Michael yet, but they'll get there later if he goes to Nike. And he tells Dolores he's in North Carolina because he believes in Michael, and that is very good spirit in my opinion. Sonny gets back to Nike, and David screams at Sonny over the phone for going to the Jordan residence, which was hilarious, and he'll be at Beaverton on Monday, while Phil is also pissed as he sees Sonny, and he'll think about the meeting on Monday about giving him full budget, And Sonny tells Rob to pack his pajamas for the weekend as they're going to be at the building over the weekend, and asks Pete Moore, who has a lisp, to make a shoe for Michael Jordan. And he creates a shoe for Michael Jordan, and there's a lot of references of the 1980s line, the old school brands versus a couple of movies like Beverly Hills Cop and Ghostbusters, like I brought up earlier. And the music, I'm enjoying those references as it's very nostalgic. While the shoe looks all white, and Rob asks Pete to make the shoe more red, Pete thinks it's brilliant and comes up with the name Air Jordan, even though that's something David said earlier in the film, which is a name we'll know forever, and I love that about the movie. Saturday comes, and Sonny and Rob are at the building while Rob has a birthday that day, while he monologues about his 7-year-old daughter Avery loving the Nike shoes he's been involved with, and it makes her love him, while Pete comes in and says the shoe is ready, while the Jordan family visits Adidas in Germany and tries to convince them to sign the contract, while Phil comes in the building and says he's got the meeting and the budget on Sonny, Rob, and Pete and Howard have a meeting about how the meeting's going to go with the plan on, that's a Sunday, by the way. And Monday comes, and the Jordans, as well as David, and I do like the fact that we barely see Michael Jordan until the end of the movie, and the movie it's a fantastic choice in my opinion. They show Michael the shoe, and Phil comes in and they show the video, and Sonny wants to stop it and makes a speech for Michael about what his future looks like, as he believes in him and how he's going to fly in the future in the game of basketball, which is a powerful speech in my opinion, and I felt it. Day by day goes, and no word from the Jordans, and gets a pager calling David, and still nothing until Howard tells Sonny he might stick with Adidas, and how sorry he is. And I felt bad for Sonny and the Nike team at this point, until Dolores calls Sonny and tells him Michael will wear the shoe and the $250,000 check under the condition the shoe will be named after him and his family. And he agrees, as well as Phil decides to give it to him. And they are excited to sign Michael at Nike. And this is a great miracle. And it'll make me excited for Michael's future in basketball, even though it's already happened. Hell, he even is in my one of my childhood movies, Space Jam, which I reviewed a while back. Dolores gets a call from Sonny about their condition, and the board agrees, and everyone working in the building is told about we got Michael Jordan, while David is happy about the contract, and Sonny visits Phil while he's taking a breath for forgiveness. Sonny does try to run, but decides he can't do it while the Axel Foley song from Beverly Hills Cop comes on. And that was a good choice while Michael gets the car of his dreams and Nike is the biggest company in basketball, and this climax made me think I never wanted the movie to end, but at some point movies need to end. Now it's time for my rating. I'll give this movie a 8.5 out of 10. Not quite as good as Argo in my opinion, but director Ben Affleck does a great job to make the movie look like the 1980s like he did in Argo, where he makes the movies look like in the 1980s, and I really do like the characters as I care for them. The script, dialogue, and the 80s references are really brilliant, and I really enjoy we barely see Michael Jordan in the movie until the end, and that was a fantastic choice. The movie was a hell of a lot of fun, and it's a very good time at the movies, and I had fun with the dialogue. It's smart, funny, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, so this is a solid recommendation. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, or rejoining me for the Ben Affleck directed series. And until whenever he comes up with another movie, I believe in you, Michael Jordan. I believe in you.